When Robert Whittaker casually said he doubted fans were clamoring for a second clash between Alexander Volkanovski and Yair Rodriguez, he probably thought it would disappear into the internet void. Instead, Rodriguez pounced within hours, spitting back on Instagram that Whittaker should mind your own business so you don't get your teeth broken again. That single flare-up did more than light up comment sections. It framed the entire news cycle. Audiences suddenly had two irresistible threads to yank. How far would Yair take the beef? And, in a separate but equally juicy twist, was Bryce Mitchell really abandoning featherweight for a fresh start among the 135-pound Sharks? The tension felt raw, personal, immediate. Exactly the kind of drama that keeps thumbs glued to the timeline. And while fans dissected every emoji Yair dropped, whispers spread that Mitchell's cut to bantamweight might be the most consequential gamble of his career. Those twin storylines formed the heartbeat of the week, but they were only the opening salvo, hinting at a cascade of confrontations still to come. Merab Dvalishvili, meanwhile, sharpened his focus on something far more tangible than social media shade. A two-fight plan, he says, will stamp him as the undisputed king of 135 pounds. If he disposes of Sean O'Malley this weekend, his words, not ours. He wants Corey Sandhagen on a lightning-quick turnaround. Merab respects Corey's slick footwork and absurd gas tank, yet he treats the matchup like a rite of passage he's been denied for too long. Las Vegas in late summer? Perfect. Or, even sweeter in his mind, Madison Square Garden under November's bright lights, a night where Georgian flags might drown out the Suga chants. Either way, Merab craves the grind. Wrestling scrambles in round 5. That razor line between exhaustion and exaltation. He insists 2 defenses in 6 months is realistic because, as he puts it, when you train year-round, the calendar doesn't scare you. Only your doubts do, and I don't have those. He leaves that statement hanging, daring listeners to picture the mayhem if his schedule actually holds.
What that was like.
I have a good time in jacuzzi with Sean O'Malley. Hopefully I'm gonna win again and we're gonna spend more good time in jacuzzi. It's gonna be even more sweet.
Fresh matchups flooded the docket almost as fast as editors could whip up thumbnails. Dan Ige, still buzzing from his clinical third-round knockout of Sean Woodson, draws Patricio Pitbull Freire on July 19th. The pairing sells itself. Ige's iron-jawed boxing versus a legend who treats every punch like a statement on legacy. One weight class up, Azamat Murzakanov, 20 wins, 0 patience, collides with undefeated collegiate wrestler turned MMA wrecking ball Torres Finney on August 2nd. 8 straight finishes for Murzakanov meet Finney's perfect 11-0 resume, and neither side hides its disdain for the judges. Yet the real intrigue rests with Bryce Mitchell. If reports hold, Thug Nasty will debut at bantamweight against submission artist Saeed Nurmagomedov in Abu Dhabi on July 26th. That means a punishing cut for a man who already dragged featherweight to its limits, but also a blank page, one written in smaller font, sure, yet offering fresh title dreams. As fans decode every weigh-in photo, the question echoes: is reinvention bold or reckless? The answer may arrive quicker than Bryce can recite his farm's crop list. No one embraces reinvention quite like Patchy, the Bellator bantamweight monarch who swears this weekend marks the unveiling of Patchy 2.0. He strolls into his UFC debut against Mario Bautista with the serenity of a man who's already headlined more 5-rounders than most newcomers will ever see. A year of quiet labor, double leg entries smoothed, scrambles rehearsed until muscle memory becomes instinct, has him convinced the roster hasn't witnessed even half of his tools. He lists numbers the way statisticians dream. More wins, more finishes, 0 times finished himself. That resume isn't arrogance, he insists. It's proof of concept. Saturday is a 3-round formality, a cage to showcase an apex predator trimmed of excess caution. Bautista's movement, respected, his ranking, merely the first tile in a domino run, 10, 9, 8, all the way to the champion's throne. Patchy signs off every interview with a soft smile that belies the storm he promises to unleash. Fans sense it, that uneasy thrill when dominance feels predestined, wondering whether hype will morph into highlight reel reality.
This UFC, you're now in a stadium with 25,000 people,
You know, I don't speak for Triple C, he ain't here, but I know. But I know.
Footwork of calling home is going to be too much.
Wow, you remember that was the assessment of it.
100.
Away from octagon blueprints, a verbal chess match stole pundits' attention. Henry Cejudo, an Olympic icon twice over, broke down the Kayla Harrison versus Juliana Pena co-main with his usual surgical bluntness, declaring Pena's hands not championship level and predicting Harrison's judo would steamroll grappling exchanges. Across the desk, Kamaru Usman shook his head. To him, intangibles trumped credentials. Pena's willingness to trade leather with Amanda Nunes, arguably the division's hardest hitter, proved she owns a brand of stubborn grit no metal can measure. Usman reminded audiences that Pena submitted the GOAT once and reclaimed her belt in a fight many labeled unwinnable. The beauty of their disagreement wasn't the pick, it was the frame. Cejudo trusted technique plus pedigree. Usman championed heart plus experience. The debate ended without consensus, but viewers left with questions that felt almost personal. Do you side with raw resume or with the defiant underdog who breaks algorithms? The conversation foreshadowed a card dripping with moments where margin for error would shrink to a breath. A blink, a single stubborn step forward.
More than a chihuahua barking to get under my skin, but
even your chihuahua doesn't like you, Kayla. Even your own dang dog doesn't even like you.
the time for talking is almost over, and Saturday night we're gonna find out.
What do you know? What do you say? Kayla, how are you going to beat me like I asked you the last time? Are you gonna lay on top of me?
Dominic Cruz entered the discourse next, though his tone was anything but confrontational. When commentator John Anik anointed Merab Dvalishvili the greatest bantamweight ever, fans braced for wounded ego. Instead, Cruz chuckled. He called Anik "my boy," then flipped the lens. Comparisons, he said, are like the eternal Jordan versus LeBron barbershop duel. No side concedes, yet the argument elevates everyone involved. Cruz acknowledged the grind Merab endured, fighting up, down, and sideways, gathering win streaks the hard way. It mirrored Cruz's own path through WEC and early UFC days, when rematches and last-minute replacements were currency. He tipped his hat without surrendering the crown, framing the debate as proof that bantamweight history is still being written in real time. Viewers heard humility without capitulation, a reminder that greatness isn't a finish line, but a relay, each era handing the baton to the next. As Cruz finished, the spotlight slid back to Merab's looming showdown, and to the analysts still struggling to predict where the machine might stall, if it ever does.
This is a little joke, of course, but I'm that serious with this fight, you know. We already shown he's a good fighter. He hits hard, I felt that, and now he will make some adjustments.
One such analyst, Paul Felder, openly admitted he's finished betting against that machine. On his podcast, Felder recounted every instance he doubted Merab, only to watch relentless pressure smother rivals into helpless sprawl. Sean O'Malley's striking artistry? Spectacular, Felder said, but artistry dissolves when you're peeled off the fence for the 5th straight minute. Felder praised O'Malley's renewed discipline. No late-night fast food, no clouds of recreational distraction, but questioned whether lifestyle tweaks fix a wrestling gulf he called Grand Canyon wide. The key phrase lingered, "I hope it's more competitive." Hope, though, is not prediction. Felder forecast another Merab clinic, the kind where scorecards read like altimeter readings. 30 to 24, sea level to summit, with O'Malley hunting a Hail Mary knee that never finds air. His closing note felt almost resigned. "I'm sticking with him." Viewers absorbed the verdict, inhaled the inevitability of chain takedowns, and braced themselves for either a miracle upset or the statistical confirmation of everything Felder just outlined.
It's funny, people are saying, you just have a bunch of yes men around you. I'm like, if you watch round 1, 3, and 5 closely, no commentating, the number one criteria as a judge is to judge for damage. Motherfucker got a bloody nose and got his head snapped back in round 1. Is that not damage compared to getting taken down and fucking kneed in the thigh a few times?
While Felder weighed probabilities, Kayla Harrison radiated certainty. She called this camp the finest of her life. Her body leaner, her timing razor sharper, her confidence like gravity, undeniable. Bigger, stronger, faster. She ticked those boxes with the stoic calm of someone who's earned 2 Olympic golds. Yet she layered respect atop bravado, acknowledging Pena's heart and refusal to wilt. That respect, paradoxically, fueled her conviction. Only by facing a woman who never backs down can Harrison demonstrate the full breadth of her arsenal. She framed the bout as destiny, an inevitable convergence of preparation and purpose, and welcomed 25 exhausting minutes if necessary. To her, the belt already feels like an extension of her waist. Saturday is merely the moment paperwork catches up. By interview's end, the audience wrestled with conflicting instincts. One part enthralled by Harrison's clarity, another part unable to ignore the sports history littered with favorites, dethroned by fighters too stubborn to accept the script. Suspense thrived in that clash of certainties. Suspense also hummed beneath Vicente Luque's measured voice when he discussed Kevin Holland. Luque thrives on chaos, yet speaks with monk-like composure about having fun hurting people. In Holland, he sees a mirror, another man who craves dialogue mid-fight, who treats taunts like jazz riffs between combinations. Luque isn't blind to Holland's reach or unorthodox timing, but he predicts those very theatrics will open the door to either a crisp left hook detonation or a suffocating Darcy choke. He pictures an exchange where Holland cracks a joke, drops his lead hand half an inch too far, and the night flips. Luque doesn't promise a round or a minute, only a finish if opportunity blinks. And if Holland wants to talk, I'll talk with my fists, he says, smiling. Fans remember Luque's record, 18 wins by stoppage, pain administered with alarming kindness. That paradox makes their impending clash addictive. Violence delivered by men who grin through broken noses, who treat danger like a shared inside joke. It's a dance where any misstep can cue the lights out.
Yeah, I mean, it was chill. I didn't get all my side quests done, so that's kind of fucked up.
What was the fight that you almost got that you had to finish?
I had the Baratas fight, but then Gary's popular ass came and took it, so fuck.
Was that
The week's most unpredictable dance, however, still belonged to Yair Rodriguez and Robert Whittaker. Rodriguez felt Whittaker's remarks dismissed not just his chances against Volkanovski, but his entire championship worth. Optics hurt more when humiliation sits fresh. Yair's last outing saw Volk dominate him bell to bell. For Whittaker, a former champ himself, the comments were fan chatter. He merely preferred Yair face Diego Lopez next, stoking the sparks from their press conference dust-up. Yet social media clipped nuance like a bad editor, serving only the inflammatory slice. Yair's "don't get your teeth broken" retort echoed past feuds where his temper burned bridges, coaches, sometimes opportunities. Whittaker, ever the diplomat, tried to douse flames on his podcast, explaining context and praising Yair's skills. His plea landed somewhere between apology and exasperation. Another fighter snagged by the headline beast. Cynics wonder if the exchange seeds a future cross-divisional showdown. Dreamers simply enjoy the theater. Either way, every refresh of Yair's feed now feels like checking a live wire for sparks, proof that words can cut as sharply as elbows. Amid highlight packages and hot takes, MMA Desks ended its broadcast by spotlighting fan voices, a subtle nod to the sport's lifeblood. A heartfelt "Rest in Peace, Randy" resonated across comment threads, reminding viewers that behind every fighter profile lies a community capable of mourning together. Another fan jabbed at Chael Sonnen's ad-filled rants, embodying the playful friction that makes YouTube's chat rooms buzz at 2 a.m. A third comment poked fun at Arman Sarukian, volunteering as backup for Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira, capturing the irony soaked into matchmaking politics. Those comments weren't filler, they were mirrors. They showed how deeply fans embed themselves in storylines, how jokes become lore, how a simple condolence or quip can ripple through thousands of screens. The host closed with a call to action: comment, subscribe, ring the bell. Classic outro lingo, yet meaningful because the preceding 90 minutes proved that every click can tilt a narrative. As the video faded, anticipation lingered like crowd noise after the final bell, quieting, never quite gone, promising the next chapter might drop any second.